Meow. Fred started Mega Man Repainted. That's awesome. I didn't know he started that, so I don't know what half the people are doing. Actually, I do know, but I don't know at the same time. So begin with new memories. We're missing 3, but we only need to get 2 endings. This game is fiction. Meow. Again, she was just napping, so she's probably really grumpy that I'm being loud now. Meow. Meow. It's like she's talking to me. But you can get... I can't beat the game tonight, but I can get the ending that you need to get the true ending. See, I'm gonna show you up. I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna beat it tonight. Just you wait. I already know a lot of this stuff already. Yeah, there we go. And underneath the pillow should be another one. Yep. Still remember. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can get Hilda to be a little quiet. She's just really, really grumpy. Okay, I am back. I just gave her a lot of attention and some treats and some fun stuff that cats like. When is Fawful Dating Sim coming out for the 3DS? I would pay for that game. Actually, I don't like Fawful at all. I don't know what the appeal is with Fawful. I also don't know the appeal of Wario, but I do understand the appeal of Waluigi, so. I don't remember what the combination is. Solid, upper right. 0, 2, 0, 2, 6, 3. Ah. How can you not like Wario? I don't know, Wario's stinky. Yeah, he's mean, greedy, fat, strong, short, and farts a lot. I mean, he's kind of scary. I mean, that's about it. He's scary. She's free again. She's upset again. So 7-4. 7-4-8. No, wait. 7-4-8-3. 8-5? Is it 3 or 5? 5. That's right, okay. Five, so it's like, that's 6. Hilda is a Skyrim quest. How so? Is it because she just is in the background and just starts yelling until you talk to her, and then... Why are you so grumpy? Why are you so grumpy? Oh, come here. Come here. Okay, or walk away. Walk away when I get up. That's how it is. I see how it is. Hilda's a character from Dragon Quest. Hilda's also a princess from Zelda. Hilda is also the protagonist of Black and White. The female protagonist of Pokemon Black and White. Are there any other Hildas we should know about? Cosmic Brownies or Walnut Blondies? I've only had Cosmic Brownies, so I'm gonna have to say Cosmic Brownies, but also I had them so much as a kid that they make me nauseous. They give me headaches, actually. They give me migraines. If I ever have a Cosmic Brownie, I will get sick. I think one time I ate, like, you know how they come in like the packets of, like, they come in like a plastic, and then in that plastic is 2 combined brownies together. I think one day when I was young, I ate like 5 of those packets, so I ate 10 whole brownies. And by like the midday, like I ate it early on, like at noon or something for lunch or something. And by like midday, about 3 o'clock, I was like so nauseous. I think I threw up like brownie mix and stuff. It wasn't pretty. Am I going to do a specific order? I'm going to do the safe ending, so I've got to do doors 5, 8, and 6. I got to do doors 5, 8, and 6, and then I have to do the safe thing. Say hi. Meow. Why am I skipping all the dialogue? Because I already did this. So I just gone through the prologue before, so I don't wanna sit through all this. Hilda is a minor character on the family television series The Muppet Show. Would you look at that? Another Hilda. Not you, Hilda. Beep boop. I actually do not like this puzzle. I think this puzzle is really... It's boring, to be honest. It's not very clever. Fuck. So, I go over here. Wait, there should be a vase, right? Or is that in the other room? Hilda Spellman is the main character in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That is another Hilda. More Hildas. Well. Make sure you examine the safe again before you leave. Yes, yes, I will do that. So, what's the toilet have to do with anything? Like, why wasn't, like, if the safe isn't part of anything, why isn't the toilet part of the puzzle? Oops. I got memory loss. I'm a big man. I'm a policeman. Alright. Oh, wait, not you. Nope. Okay. So, now we do this. Wait. Ah! Da, na, na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Wouldn't it be weird with a room on a ship didn't have a bathroom in it? Yeah, but like, puzzle. Andy, do you like rhythm games? I love rhythm games. I played the fuck out of Guitar Hero 3 when I was a kid. I love Rhythm Heaven. I played Rhythm Heaven Repainted, which was something I really, really enjoyed. A safe. It's a safe. A safe, huh? The exit's open. Yeah, it's strange that we didn't need to open this to achieve our goal. Do you think it's important? I wonder what's in there. It's a safe with a dial lock on it. We won't be able to open it until we know the right numbers. So like that's the only thing I need to do, right? All right. Have you played DDD's Drum Dash Deluxe? I haven't. I've actually have not played any of the Kirby 3DS games, so I haven't played it. Which Rhythm Heaven is your favorite? I want to say Rhythm Heaven Fever is my favorite, but I haven't played the 3DS one. Mega Mix, I think that one's called. I haven't played that one, but, you know, I heard that one's, like, just as good because it has all the, like, old stuff in it, so. Club Diamond Heart. So spin. Hit the spin button. Kirby 3DS games are so good, you should try one out sometime. Oh, I really do want to try them. Trust me, I do. I love Kirby games. I've just watched people play them. And I feel like that experience was good enough for me. But you know, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm missing 6. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm still kind of sad that there was on 2 remixed versions of new songs. Only 2 remixed versions. Oh. I think that's okay though. We don't need constantly new remixing of songs. I like new songs. I mean, if there's old songs, then that's fine, but like, I don't know where I'm going with this. Nope, there we go. Someone here doesn't know what Mario pissing is. Let me enlighten you on what Mario pissing is. We're gonna see this for a bit, so get used to it. I've got no room for this. All right, just gonna see this.
Time to take a piss. What the hell are you doing? I'm taking a piss. Okay, but why aren't you jumping at me? That's what you're supposed to do. I might do it fucking later. No, I'm a motherfucking enemy. You're supposed to jump at me. Okie dokie then. Let me pull up my pants again first, and then maybe I'll jump on you. Maybe? Are you out of your fucking mind? No! Jump on me now, motherfucker! Let me get my pants first. Fine. Time to take.
There you go. That's Mario pissing. Mario pissing? Remove that. Remove. There we go. I don't know why Hilda's screaming right now. She might want something from me, but she does this from time to time. I think it might be because she's hungry, but also I just fed her because she just woke up. Or she might like want to play with me, but I don't know. Danger. Spooky. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see if she wants water. Yeah, I don't know. She's still doing the meowing. I don't know what's going on with her. She just wants the attention, I guess. Actually, here, hold on a second. Okay. I just put her away into the other room. I feel like she was being really, really loud for you guys. Get Hilda to sit on your lap. Yeah, I tried doing that, but she wasn't having it. Hilda locked in gay baby jail. Yeah, she's in gay baby jail. She's been misbehaving. Hold on a second. Let me do something for y'all. Pretty sure. Yeah, here we go. Never mind, I can't find a good picture. In memory of Hilda. And then he passed out because he took too many drugs. That's exactly what happened, though. So I go through door 8. Beep 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 beep. The laboratory. She's locked in. No. All right. First thing, I gotta get this. And then I go over here, examine the table. And then I go over here, I give her the thing that makes her wipe it off. Alright. And we do it again. Now I examine this. Realize there's no power cable. And there's a power cable over here. There we go. Go back. There's a PS4 version? How many versions of this game are there? I was gonna get the Steam version, but then I was like, nah, I don't want to spend my money on that. I'm not honestly too invested with this because I feel like the characters are kind of boring. And people can like murder me for that, but I'm just not invested. Andy will read chat. Sorry, I didn't have my thing open. Ah!
You proud of yourself?
No! Also, I have Discord disabled. I'm pretty sure you can hear my, you probably weren't even watching, but I have, notifications disabled so you wouldn't be able to hear it. Or, if it was, I was probably putting Hilda away in gay baby jail because she's being really loud because I woke her up from her nap. So, do you need a crash course on what's happening right now?
999.
Yes, 9.
That's it.
9.
9.
9.
9. This is Ace Attorney 7.
Yes, of course, definitely. So, when you look at this image, what do you think? What is this game about?
Well, you got the kid from Back to the Future.
Yeah?
Not gonna reference the obvious elephant in the room. Yeah, it's just Ace Attorney 7.
Yep. Who de flip is this? This is... introduce yourself.
Who am I?
Just guess. Just
I'm
make
sorry.
make it up. This is a...
I'm Angelo.
Yeah, Angelo.
It's me.
Yeah, how is Choder?
Finished. Go watch it.
I don't even think he has it up anymore. That's the sad thing. To be honest, I wouldn't want to keep that up either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither would I. Holy shit, it's been years.
Yeah, it's been
I
real.
streamed yesterday.
Yeah, you streamed yesterday, Angelo.
Do I sound different through you?
No, the thing is that people actually believe you're Angelo.
I am Angelo.
Yes, Angelo.
It's me.
Creator of Chowder.
And every cartoon.
And every cartoon ever. Beep, beep. Apparently, the remake versions are terrible for the last puzzle. Not for everything else, but the last puzzle, according to How Quaint in chat. Or at least that's what I understand reading. I can't really read very well.
I can't read.
Which is why we're going by really fast. Who's Seth?
I don't know.
Who's Seth? Who's Seth, Angelo? Who is he?
Terrible.
Oh, okay. You're gonna want to read this.
I'm gonna want to read this.
Yeah, you're gonna read this out loud.
I'm not really. I just... Oh, gosh. Junpei was at something of a loss. What could she possibly be so frightened of? June was probably afraid of being locked up with a boy. After little thought, Junpei decided she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small place alone with a boy. In a way, it was kind of cute. Very demure,
Demure.
you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least, they didn't have to be. Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think of how innocent she was. Come on, let's go. Again, he stepped forward toward the elevator. And again, he felt himself restrained. I said, wait a minute.
Oh.
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy? Afraid of what? Well, I've never... You know... She'd never been in an elevator with a man alone before. Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed. I might get wet. What? Down there. I'd get soaking wet. Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works. I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else. That's true. You don't mind? Mind what? Getting wet? Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it. Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave. Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, What happens, happens, right? If you get the chance, you've got to go for it. That's what a man's supposed to do, I guess. You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you. That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for. I'm really scared. Yeah. I mean, like you said, you've never done it before. Yeah. So, I don't think I'll be able to last very long. What the fuck is this, Andy? What the fuck are you making me read? Like, I would have expected by now they'd just be like, oh no, surprise, it's fucking something else. It's not what you were expecting. Oh, predictable. It keeps going. I don't want to read this anymore.
I'll go to heaven. Heaven? Feels like you're floating in space, and your mind gets all fuzzy like when you pass out. Keep going. Just keep going.
At least that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it. Yes. I've heard that too. Although, I don't think the same thing happens to guys. What? Huh? But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets in your body... Once it gets in your body, the same thing happens to everyone. Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. I mean, generally. Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it. Eventually. What are you trying to do to me? Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing. Was that really how it happened? It occurred to Junpei that perhaps that was how it worked. Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. June seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror. I know most men probably have larger lungs, but even then, I don't think you could hold your breath for 20 or even 10 minutes. Eventually, you'd have to breathe, and then the water would just get in your lungs. Once that happens, your body won't be able to get oxygen anymore. And you'll start to feel that floaty feeling as you pass out. Finally, Junpei understood. He understood what June was trying to say, and why she was so scared. Yeah, you're right. You wouldn't last very long. See? She was afraid that the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen the elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks. And the floor below the one they were on, D deck, should be completely submerged. That meant... Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right? Do I have to keep reading?
No, not really.
Thank you.
So basically, she was just afraid of drowning.
Great.
Of getting wet in the lungs.
Why did you make me do this?
Because I had to go through it, too.
Okay.
When I was reading through it, I was like, why is this even... I had pretty much the same reaction you did. So, have you drowned before?
Me?
Yeah, have you drowned before?
Actually, yes.
Do
Near
tell.
drowned.
Do tell.
I was on a vacation with my parents in, I think, Bermuda. And I was a super little kid. We were at the beach. I got pulled in by the undertow and inhaled a lot of water.
And then you almost drowned.
Yeah.
Did you like
And then I
throw
died.
you threw up a bunch of water and you're just like, blah, I'm dead.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
It was pretty scary.
I think
Didn't
the
really affect
the closest to drowning that's ever happened to me is I was sitting on a not an inner tube, but like a floaty tube, but it was like a really big one that you use to like you know when you're on a boat on a vacation and
Motherfucker.
they drag around some sort of floaty and the person's just sitting on it or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's this big round one that's like shaped like a disc,
Uh-huh.
and I was on that, and I was trying to get off of it, I believe, and then it flipped over and it fell on top of me, and I couldn't find my way out because there was a little indent. So I basically I thought I was trying to get out, so I was like, wait, there's a wall here, I should go around the other way, and then lo and behold, behind the other way is another wall. So I was like trapped underneath this like drowning area, this little hole that's just filled with water, and I couldn't find my way out because I was stupid, because I couldn't think about going down and then out. And so I just was under there for quite a bit of time, and then someone lifted it up beneath me, and then I caught my breath and I was okay.
God. Yeah. Water's scary.
Just a bit. I used to do what is that thing called when you swim really fast? Speed swimming. No. Yes.
Um, okay.
I used to do speed swim. I used to do swim freestyle front crawl. And then I was okay at it. And I taught people how to swim also.
I almost joined a swim team, but I didn't.
I want to join a swim team. I feel like I'm good at swimming, so.
Good.
The thing is though, you know how when you have fat on your body, that's what allows you to float?
Mm-hmm.
I have very little body fat, so whenever I swim, my legs sink. My upper body is fine because that's where my lungs is and that's where all the oxygen is. But I have so little body fat that I just sink.
Lipozene is pure body fat.
Lipocene?
It's a... Never mind. And yeah, you're a thin boy.
I'm a small boy. Don't actually know. I don't remember what this puzzle is.
The door is open.
The door is open! Yeah. So I've done all these puzzles before, so... That's why I'm able to skip all this stuff, and you're just like, why are you skipping all this stuff?
Yeah. What the hell, man?
Oh, here's new stuff that I haven't seen. With that, he turned and walked away. Junpei and Ace followed him. You know, speaking of experiments, Sand suddenly stopped. There was an experiment some scientists did with rats.
Rats?
First, they took a C-shaped tank and filled it with enough water that the rats could drown. Topical. The tank had two exits, A and B. Exit A is pitch black, so dark that even a rat can't see anything. Exit B, however, is electrified, which means the rat can't leave through it. So what would a rat do if it was put in this situation? Which exit would the rat choose? There was a moment of silence after Sans posed the question, then Ace responded. B, of course. The rat has no way of knowing that exit B is electrified. Exactly. The rat goes to exit B. Of course, like I said, it's electrified, which means the rat can't get out that way. So after a lot of trial and error, the rat finally finds exit A. Can't say that's very interesting or relevant, or simply the story of a laboratory experiment. Right, it isn't very interesting. So why is he telling us?
Because it's rats.
They repeated the experiment over and over using hundreds of different rats over several generations. This produced some surprising results.
The results? They were rats.
Wow, this rat is a rat! They took less time to find the correct exit. Eventually, a rat was put into the tank who instantly chose A without even attempting to go to B. But that wasn't even the most impressive thing. The same experiment was conducted in another laboratory far from the original one with the same results. On second thought, the results weren't really the same. The rats in the second experiment began the trials with significantly faster times than the rats in the initial experiment. These rats were not related to the rats used in the first experiments and had never come to contact with them, and yet they easily found their way to exit A as though they already knew. What does it mean?
What could it mean?
Telepathy? They were passing information from one through another through an undetectable medium. But I do know what if the story is true, then you've got another explanation. I'd be sure to love to hear it.
I just realized something.
What?
This man is Santa.
Yeah. He's Sans.
This is the prequel to Christmas.
What?
I don't know.
This is how Santa became the jolly old Saint Nick.
Yeah, this is the prequel to Christmas.
Why did they use that tank for the experiment? Well, I mean, it just seems like you could conduct the same experiment without the water. They could have just used a dry box, you know? They needed to motivate the rats to escape. They could have, I don't know, put some bait by exit B or something. I mean, do they really have to make it so the rats can drown?
Oh, Andy,
What?
the water bot is assaulting you.
Yeah, I know. I've been streaming for an hour.
You better get some water, or it's gonna beat you up.
Oh, I have some water. It's right next to me, actually.
Apparently, Super Brady almost choked to death too. Ooh. Oh, haha! Choking to death is so funny. I'm sorry, Hank. You know what?
What?
I'm gonna get water too.
Okay, get water.
It's right here.
Everybody should drink water right now. If you haven't been drinking water, drink water right now. Don't drown, though.
I just drank water without choking.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
miracle.
Yes. This is exactly what we want. Drink water, don't drown. 2013, 14, 15, 18.
You don't like Waterbot Super Brady? Neither do I.
Junpei
I
felt
know there's
cold.
some sort of ulterior motive behind those messages.
The back of his head was aching and his stomach felt strange. Telepathy.
So, when do the rats come in?
Rats.
I want to see more of those.
Rats. When do they come in?
Rats, we're coming in. Is it nighttime right now? In the game?
Yes, it's like, I think it's
Oh.
like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Fuck. They're praying and stalking.
Go this way now. Nope. I want to go this way. There we go. Not that way.
Why are your dogs barking, Plastic Shark? Why are they barking?
Well, bark back at him.
Oh.
I should watch the Rat movie. Is like Ratatouille or like the Rat movie?
The Rat Movie by German 985.
You know, I don't know anything about Germa.
What would you like to know?
What does Germa do?
Stream.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's a stream.
Like, what I'm about to say is probably very wrong, but this is just my opinion. Germa is somewhat comparable to Vinny. They're two completely different people in personality, but they pretty much do the same thing. He makes funnies. Yes, essentially that is what he does.
They make jokes and then they play games.
Yeah.
Wow. Not
And
like
I think
us.
they met each other at PAX this year.
Yeah, they did. I saw that. They did a thing.
That photo brought me so much happiness. Germa's definitely one of, if not my favorite streamer. Vinny coming in a close second.
Vince, I watch Vincent like almost every night, but that's because I fall asleep to his voice.
Yeah, Vinesoft.
Yeah, shut.
It's not going away.
We don't-
It's never
we don't-
going away.
I swear, every time I talk about Vinny, Vinesoft always comes up.
Yeah, that's your fault.
Oh, here's the prequel to the backstory to Santa Claus.
We didn't have parents. They bought it in an accident when they were still kids.
So I had to be like her
So I
dad.
had to be dad. And that meant that I brought her Christmas presents every year. On Christmas Eve, I'd leave the present next to her pillow. And the next morning, she'd come running into my room with this big smile.
So I should probably tell you, their names are all fake.
Yeah, I figured.
So I call him Sans because his name is 3, and San is 3 in Japanese. So I just call him Sans.
Sans.
And he chose Santa because he was this girl's Santa.
Oh, Santa.
I was the one who told her to write those letters. I'd say, write down something you want and mail it to Santa. The address I gave her was somewhere in Northern Europe that doesn't exist. Anyway, she'd write that letter and stamp it and send it out. And then a few days later, it'd show up back in our mailbox marked, address unknown. I'd open up the letters before she'd figure it out they'd been sent back. Once I had the letter, I'd go around to a couple stores with the money I'd saved up over the year and buy her the stuff she'd asked for. It took a lot of saving, but I managed to buy her presents every year. Junpei was silent. He could think of nothing to say. June looked down, uncomfortable. The wall next to him suddenly groaned. Either he hadn't heard the sound or he didn't care. Sans kept talking. 1 year later, her letter was different. She didn't write a list of toys she wanted or anything like that. Instead, it said, I don't want any presents this year. Instead, I want you to make my wish come true. My wish is that we'll be happy like this for a really, really long time. Oh. But I couldn't make that wish come true. Some Sans I am. Sans looked sad. Junpei'd never seen him look sad before. He wasn't sure he liked it. Junpei decided it was probably best not to ask Sans any more questions. But what happened? June glanced up at Sans really quickly as he spoke. He answered, but only with an effort. She died. She was killed 9 years ago. There was nothing Junpei could say. His heart felt like a great lump of lead. June bit her lip and looked away. Her face was pale. Alright, let's go. And then they leave.
Well, shit.
That's 4. Oops.
I probably shouldn't be holding a 15-pound weight above my head.
Why not?
When I'm bored, I tend to just fiddle with things. And by things, I mean anything that I can reach unconsciously.
Grab a fidget spinner, mate.
Oh, yeah!
Fidget spinner.
Fidget spinner!
8. I'm missing one more. Is it up here? Right here. Just then. Wait, what?
He turned around.
He heard a noise. He spun around just in time to see June collapse in front of the fence. Are you okay? She did not respond. Junpei spun back around to face Ace. Sorry, I gotta go check on her. You do the box thing, alright? Are you doing the hand thing?
Yeah, I'm doing the hand thing. Oh.
Okay. Shoved the cards into Ace's hand and ran towards June. Are you alright? What happened? When he arrived, June was climbing to her feet with Sans' help. Sorry, I'm fine. I just tripped. Don't give me that. Now's not the time. But it's true. I tripped over a box.
A box?
A box?
A box?
The temperature had just been the same as it had been last time he checked. She wasn't hot like before, but she was still warm. Her fever wasn't completely gone. I saw her fall. I think she really did just trip on something, you know? Junpei would have been more willing to agree if June hadn't needed quite so much help standing up. Still, to fall down like that, I think she's probably still a little messed up. June was doing her best to busy herself brushing dust off of her dress. Her smile looked a little embarrassed and her face was a bit flushed. But she did look a great deal better than she had. Still. Alright, let's get out of here as fast as we can. As fast. Hospital.
Faster.
First. Medicine, huh? Well, if we get in touch with anyone outside, I bet Ace could.
Medicine.
I'll bet
Losing myself.
Ace could swing that for you easily. Ace, why? Don't you know? He's the president of a pharmaceutical. Oh.
Who?
Cradle Pharmaceutical. Oh, you might not know this. In fact, you
I know
don't. Okay, so Cradle Pharmaceutical was involved with this like scandal of like kidnapping children and using them for like experiments and stuff.
Oh.
It's very complicated, but it's assumed right now that Cradle Pharmaceutical is behind all of these kidnappings and might even be like related to the incident that they're in right now. So Ace is like the #1 suspect because he's, you know, yeah, company that kidnapped children, including Lotus's 2 kids. So yeah.
Ooh.
Developed 6 years prior, it was made from the extracts of several different roots. It became popular almost as soon as it was made public, with many governments placing large orders. Demands for soap oil skyrocketed, and as it did, so did the stock of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Why do you know all this? San's information was interesting, but Junpei couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. San's reply was blunt and simple. I heard it from the old man himself. From Ace? When? By the number 4 door at the central staircase, when we were searching the second classroom. Remember when Snake 7 and you went to door 5? I asked him what he did for a living, and he said he ran his own company. After that, we just started talking, and I guess it just came up, you know? You worried about something? No, nothing. As he spoke, Junpei looked over at Ace. He seemed to be having difficulty with the 9 boxes. He turned back to Jun's and Sans. Don't push yourself, alright? Could you take care of her? Sure. He gave them both a short nod, then turned and headed towards Ace. What are you doing? Ace's back was to him as Junpei approached. The older man turned around to look at him. His face was pale and covered in sweat. What happened? Nothing. My vision had gotten rather blurry, I think perhaps because of fatigue. I can't see very well, and at the moment... well, you can't see well? These pictures. Ace held the cards out to Junpei and splayed out in the shape of a fan. I don't care to admit it, but I may be developing presbyopia. Do you know what that is?
Presbyopia?
Presbyopia?
Presbyopia. That sounds familiar. Let me see.
Google! Growing old is a difficult thing.
Presbyopia.
He
I
made
think
the best...
it's when you can't tell the difference between faces. Oh, no. No. Think of something completely different. It's farsightedness caused by a loss of elasticity of the lens of the eye, occurring typically in the middle of old age.
Junpei looked at him quizzically. How could simply looking at cards have tired him out? Junpei looked down at the cards in his hands. All the pictures were quite clear and each person easily recognizable. Was Ace vision truly that bad?
They were covered in muscle-wearing-out juice.
He wore out the muscles in his eyes. That juice transferred with oxygen. Prosopagnosia. It means a condition where the mind can't distinguish between human faces. That's the one.
That's what I just said.
In other words, my face would look like the same as Clover's or even yours, so they can't remember faces, which is how most people recognize each other.
There's a character in Ace Attorney 6 that has that.
So that means people with prosopagnosia has trouble recognizing people they're close to. Prosopagnosia. Use soap.
Pneumono ultramicroscopic siliconovolcanoconiosis.
Is that the word that you keep saying over and over again because it's large?
I don't
There was somebody who would always say the same big word over and over again. It was Damien. Damien would say this really, really long word, and then he would like, it's a word for a very long word that is very long or something. It's like
Yeah.
hippocampus microscopal
No, his was different.
volcanicity.
That the one that I just said is what you're referring to.
Volcanicity.
I hate that one.
Water flows down the crevices of my butt. Gives you mineral butt water.
Mineral water grabs life by the corkers and hydrates you till you shout, "Come on, world! Have your breakfast. Try some."
Okay.
Try some.
I forgot this is gonna take a while. Oh, right. I hate this part. Where is the...
Good night.
Fuck. Fucking hate this puzzle. It's so stupid. I don't like it. 7. So I have to get 9 off first, so let's do that. Let's do 3, 4, 6, I think? No, that's not right. 7, no, this isn't gonna work. And then I want 1, so 8. There we go. Fuck. Now I need 2, 6. The thing is that you have to do math here. If you could look this up, it'd be a lot easier on me, and it'd take this stream a lot quicker. So,
What do you want me to look up?
Puzzles. The pin puzzle. Look up 999 pin puzzle. To
Spirits, I'm contacting you.
7. 4. That's yeah, okay. 6. So I need.
Let's see.
What do I get for 6? 3, 8, and 7.
All right, so I'm getting a series of 3 numbers, and then equals and another number.
Yeah, that should be the one. That should be it.
All right. So first it's 964 equals 1.
Hold on. Let me see if I can reset this. Yeah, okay. Just give me the 3 numbers at a time. 964.
964.
And then?
731.
Okay. And then?
912.
Okay.
634.
All right.
986. 123.
1, 2, 3. Next one.
952. And 134.
Okay, is there a cross one? It looks like a 3x3.
Yes.
From left to right, top to bottom.
Do you have the ability to not put anything?
No, I have to put everything.
Well, there, it's X.
What?
X.
What?
X.
3 by 3. 15.
We'll have to tell the Pushmaster. Yeah, this isn't exactly showing me what I have to do here.
I got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's basically you have to make up all the rows add up to 15.
Oh.
Oops.
Yeah, what you're doing here is not what I'm looking at, so it must be different.
I think you're getting some slowdown because the music is dropping tempo. Am I? No, I got... Maybe. But, maybe I'm not getting dropped frames, which is the important part. Okay, now push puzzle time.
Push. Push box.
I don't remember how to do this, so...
Oh. I can help you with this one. This is what I was looking at.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So... an X needs to be at the top left.
That doesn't...
does the X
that
mean?
doesn't help.
Hold on. Okay. Do you see those 4 in the center around the middle one?
Yes.
From left to right, top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. That doesn't
So-
help at all.
What are you supposed to do here?
You're supposed to make up all the boxes to line up to the right side.
All the
I
boxes.
feel like I remember how to do this, but I don't at the same time. Okay, I did that wrong already. Okay.
I still don't understand. What are you supposed to do here? You're supposed to make the boxes...
You're supposed to like get the boxes lined up on the right side.
Oh.
Yeah. So the thing is, you have
Oh, okay.
you have
okay,
to
hold on.
like.
Restart.
Okay.
Well, do you want to do this
Just-
on your own, or do
just-
you want me to just spoil it for you?
I mean, I did this before. I know how to solve it. I just don't remember the things.
Do you want me to
Just tell me
work
like,
you
do you have like a list of moves?
Yeah, I know exactly how to get through it now.
Just list it like up, down, left, right, and then I'll just do it.
All right, I'm gonna refer to. We're gonna just memorize these, okay?
Okay.
Top left box is 1. Top right box is 2. Bottom left box is 3.
Okay.
Bottom right box is 4.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Move 1 right.
Okay.
All right. Move 2 down.
Okay.
Move. Can you get over there? If you can, move. What does that say? Move 4 to the right.
Oh, yeah, I got this. And then move it up 1, right?
Yep. And then move it up 1. And then move 3. Can you get to 3?
Yeah.
All right.
Move
Move
it up.
3 down.
Down? No, I can't do that.
Go over there, move it up, go around, and push it down. Below. There you go. Now go around. There you go.
Now push it.
Now push it to the right. All the way.
Okay. Oh yeah, I got
Alright.
it now. I got it now.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, that one took me a while last time.
It only took me 5 seconds.
Shut up. Can you guess what's inside this coffin?
Another coffin. Is it gonna be bones?
Ready?
The skeleton popped out. Oh, it's a gun.
It's a gun. It's just a gun. Do we take the gun this time? Because last time I did this, we left the gun in... Oh, I guess they just leave the gun in there.
Nug.
Yeah, they just take the gun. All right. So we're approaching the end of we're approaching an ending right now.
The end of an era.
Oh yeah, the goal is to look for a door marked with the number 9 on it. And we found the door with the 9. But then we also found us another door with the 9 on it.
Which door will you take?
I don't know. There's a rectangular alcove at the end of the carpet, and inside the alcove was a raised platform. And the platform was a coffin. A coffin, a coffin. What on earth was a coffin doing in a place like that? Before he had time to answer that question,
A skeleton popped out.
and then everyone just left. Man, this creeps me out. You can hear knocking from on the inside.
So is it supposed to be like somebody among you is a traitor?
Yeah, supposedly. But like we don't even know if there is a traitor or not.
You know, it'd be a good twist
Huh.
for a plot setup like this. If literally everyone except the protagonist was a traitor.
So everybody was just all in on this joke.
They were all like playing dumb and playing fake at each other's throats just to put the protagonist off the trail.
Oh, this is new. So Junpei and June ran to the large hospital room together. As quickly as they could, they searched around and under the beds and in the corners. She's not here. No, she isn't. Alright, just in case, we should go take a look in the shower room. Shower room? That's where her brother is. She might have gone to see him. June bit her lip. She knew, as Junpei did, that there was only one thing to see in the shower room, and it wasn't pleasant. We might as well check it, right? Let's go. There was a screwdriver stuck between the door and the frame. Junpei and June slipped through the door and moved down the hallway and stepped into the shower room. I have to solve another puzzle.
Yay! Yay!
Maybe.
I'm not helping you with this one.
I think so. I think I have to solve another puzzle. No luck. I don't think she's here. June's voice was faint as she placed her hands over her mouth. Her face looked a little green. The stench in the room was almost unbearable. Oh, no I don't. I don't have to solve the puzzle. It had grown far more unpleasant since their last visit. If Junpei had eaten a lunch, he would have had difficulty retaining it. He wanted to leave the room as soon as possible, but he had to be sure, and the only way to be sure was to check the other side of the divider. Wait here. June offered no resistance and nodded weakly to Junpei as he headed around the divider. He stopped at the corner and turned his head. As he expected, Clover was nowhere to be seen. The only thing on the other side of the divider was a dead body, lying in a reddish-brown puddle of dry and drying blood. There are many ways a man can die, but this... The skull was shattered, and the head a little more than a pulpy mass of brain, bone, and viscera. The left arm was hideously twisted into a horrific alien shape, the bright white of the ulna shining through the remains of the skin and muscle. Wait. Bright white. Ulna. Bones. Pieces fell into place. Junpei remembered something Clover had told him in the laboratory. My brother's left arm is not a normal person's arm. The accident hurt him really bad. To save them, they had to cut off his arm. Of course. Why didn't he realize it earlier? Clover had told Junpei that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. But the left arm of the corpse behind the divider was clearly a real human's arm. Or at least it had been once. Do you know who else who has a fake left arm?
Who?
Snake.
Oh. There you go.
Earlier, whenever I started this, I made the joke that, I gave Snake a solid Snake voice. So he was like, it's like we gotta solve the puzzle. Oh, I gotta find the way out of here. Killing game. Even though I gave him Nicolas Cage, and then when he said his name was Snake, I gave him a Snake voice. So
Snake.
Junpei and June headed back towards the large hospital room. They stepped through the door out of the shower room. Yeah, I did Nick Cage. He's like, I got in a killing game. I don't know how to get out of here. This is my Nick Cage voice.
Not bad.
You just gotta make it sound like you're constantly constipated, and then that's it. Junpei, where were you guys? He looked pale. His face was drawn. Something terrible had happened. Junpei's breath caught his throat. Did something happen? Seven drew a shaking hand across his face and gulped down a breath of air. Clover she's dead. I found her in the first-class bathroom.
I will be right back.
Okay. All sound ceased for Junpei. The world was empty, muffled expanse. Then he began to hear his own breathing. June's mouth moved, but he heard nothing. She tried once more, and then her energy was gone, and she collapsed against the wall. He could have helped her, but he hadn't, and now she was dead. She stood there, frozen in place. Clover, why had this happened? He forced his body to move. Each step felt like another nail pounded into his heart. Finally, he was in front of her. He knelt, placed 3 fingers against Clover's neck. No pulse, no breath. She was still warm, and her eyes were closed peacefully. It would have been easy to think she was asleep. Easy, that is, were not for the slowly expanding puddle of blood beneath her. He traced its source to her back, a gash beneath her shoulder blade. Was the weapon a knife, perhaps? If it was a knife, the killer had taken it. When they'd left. When he closed his eyes, he saw Clover's smile. Her innocent smile, her energy. She never would see her smile again. She could have done something. He could have helped her. His stomach twisted into a sickening knot. Junpei lifted a limp June from the floor and carried her from the bathroom. Are you alright? It was a foolish question, and he knew it. Yeah, I think so. Her voice was weak. The fever had gone down, but the emotional scars she had received were not likely to recede quickly. Junpei laid his hands on her shoulder, and they walked back to the bedroom. You should get some rest. He lowered June until she was sitting against the bed. She nodded once and stared at the floor. There were 4 others in the room. Ace, Lotus, Sans, and Seven. They all stared at nothing, their faces drawn and tired. After a while, they drifted into the bathroom to see Clover's corpse themselves. Once everyone was back in the bedroom, Junpei slowly walked to the center of it and looked around as the slumped figures gathered there. Who was the first to find the body? Me. Seven spoke from behind Junpei. He turned around. Seven's hand was up. Why did you come to this room? To look for Clover. Why else? I found her body in the bathroom. As soon as I did, I ran outside. Got to the top of the stairs by the casino and yelled as loud as I could. Hey guys, I found her, but it's bad. She's in the bathroom in the first class cabin. Come quick, or something like that. Then I went back to the bathroom. Ace, Sans, and Lotus showed up real soon after that. I guess you two hadn't heard me or something, because you didn't show. So I took off down the stairs to look for you. After that, you know the rest, right? Junpei nodded and closed his eyes. There was one more thing he needed to ask. Seven, there's one thing I'm worried about. What's that? When we finished all the puzzles in this room, we got the door open. You stuck one of those plates in between the door and the frame, right? Why did you do that? Come on, didn't I already tell you that? I did it so the door wouldn't lock. So we would come back to this room. Oh, you think I did it? Well, I don't know. That kind of depends on what you say, doesn't it? Seven sighed and shook his head. Follow me. The two doors standing next to one another, he opened the one on the right. Behind the door was a closet. Seven stepped inside. He stood in front of one of the shelves that filled it and gestured towards the small box. The box was a small metal cube. He looked at Junpei. This is the reason. This safe. We couldn't open it when we were getting through this room. I figured there might be something pretty important in it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Besides, I figured eventually we might figure out what the numbers are for the safe. And if we did, I didn't want to screw around with the 5 door again. So I put that plate in the exit door so we can get back in that way. Junpei nodded and looked at the safe. He grabbed the handle and shook it. Nothing happened. It was locked as it had been when Seven found it. There was one change, however. Just underneath the safe was a pile of reddish-brown powder. Rust. Junpei stared at it for a moment. Had someone opened the safe, dislodging the rust? Junpei left the closet. Seven followed him back into the bedroom. It was cold and quiet. No one spoke. They sat frozen in place by shock and grief and fatigue. The room felt tiny and oppressive, as a thick metallic smell of blood filled the room. Junpei turned around and headed for the living room. Anything to get out of here. Was there some other clue, perhaps? Anything that might lead him to whoever stabbed Clover? He took his time and examined the room carefully. His eyes caught on the door. The door that had led to the passageway to door number 5. Behind that door was the dead body of the 9th man. Maybe I should have another look at it, just in case. Quietly, he pushed the door open. The smell hit him like a blow to the face. His lungs contracted, unwilling to inhale such fetid air. Acid boiled up from the base of his stomach, churning what little food was there into such a violent froth. It was too much for him, and he vomited. A thin stream of yellow water and bile splattered onto the floor. He wiped his mouth weakly as he stared at the dead body. Chunks of torn flesh lay in an arc around the body. What remained of his intestines had slid out onto the floor. The pool of blood that framed it was half dry, but so thick that it had taken on a texture not unlike that of an egg yolk, prepared sunny side up. On the floor, next to the broken mass of the man's head, lay his glasses. Cracks spidering across the lens. Bloodstains near them had already dried like scabs on the floor. That's when he noticed. It's gone. His bracelet, it's gone. It had been there when Junpei had gone through the 5 door before. He was sure of it, right next to the glasses. But now, it was gone. The number 9 bracelet was gone. But why? Why had someone taken it? He was turning it over and over in his mind when he heard Seven's voice. Where did Junpei go? He drifted out. It had drifted him out from the living room. Junpei walked slowly out of the hallway. 4, 5. There you are. Why you were looking for something in the hallway? Seven looked up as Junpei entered the room. Did you find something? He thought for a moment before he responded. No, nothing. Technically, it wasn't a lie. He hadn't found anything in a way. In fact, that was the problem. Something he'd expect to find hadn't been there. The 9th man's bracelet. What's up? Well, I wanted you to take a look at something. What is it? Seven led Junpei back to the bathroom. As Clover's corpse came into view, he felt his heart flip and fall to the bottom of his stomach. Something between a sigh and a groan escaped his lips. What was it you wanted to show me? His voice was hollowed and empty. I searched Clover's body again. I found this. As he spoke, he moved Clover's head, knelt down, and flipped open her right hand. What? She was holding a piece of paper. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. He wasn't sure what it meant, but likely didn't matter. The paper was more important. He picked it up and carefully opened it. There were 2 sentences written on it. Truth had gone, truth had gone, and truth had gone. Ah, now truth is asleep in the darkness of the sinister hand. What is this? Some kind of secret code? Seven peered over Junpei's shoulder at the note. Junpei stepped away from Clover's body and into the living room. He began to pace, attempting to decode the note. The first clue was likely the phrase, sinister hand. Sinister hand means the left hand, right? Does this affect my ending? Do I have to solve this? As you go, you'll have some questions to answer, but they won't affect how the story plays out. Okay. The sinister hand. I'm actually gonna look this up. I want to get this right. Sinister. I want to say it's the left hand because, like, the left hand isn't, like, the non-dominant hand. Left, okay. Sinister was used in heraldry that meant to the left of the bearer of the coat of arms. The left hand. What did the left hand mean? Junpei looked at his own left arm and at the bracelet on his left wrist. Did the darkness of the sinister hand have something to do with the bracelet? He examined the bracelet closely. There were 2 protrusions from either side of the face, the left and the right sides of the face. The left and right, left and right, right and left. Truth is gone, truth gone. It sounded funny. What did it mean? Truth gone. Maybe those 2 words. Maybe those 2 words. Maybe switching them? How about switching them? Gone had truth. It made no more sense than the initial riddle, less even. Clearly switching the words wasn't going to help. Time for a different idea. How about reading them backwards? Gone and truth, enog and turt. They weren't even words. Junpei doubted they even had anything to do with the riddle. It was a good try, though. Truth gone. Those 2 words. What could they mean? What could gone and truth mean? Truth, of course, meant something that was correct, or fact. In other words, something that was right. And that would follow gone meant left. After all, someone that was left, they were gone. In this case, however, they clearly referred to directional homonyms. So that means right is truth and left is gone. It seemed that makes sense. Junpei looked at the bracelet again. At the 2 protrusions of the left and the right of the face. He pressed them in the following order. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And then... What? One after another, 8 numbers flashed on and off of the face of Junpei's bracelet. He checked one more time to be sure. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. What are those numbers? Junpei didn't answer. He couldn't answer. He had no idea what they were either. Besides, he was sure he would forget the numbers in the order that came in if he said anything. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. Muttering those numbers to himself over and over, Junpei headed towards the bedroom. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 1, 4, 3, 8, 3, 4, 2, 1. 143-83421. 143-83421. Before long, he found himself in front of the safe again. Its lock was the only device he could think of that required a sequence of numbers, such as the one he just discovered. Besides, someone had opened the safe at least once already. Had Clover come to the bedroom to open it? 143-83421. Junpei slowly dialed the numbers into the bracelet had given him. 1 to the right, 4 to the left, 3 to the right, 8 to the left, 3 to the right, 4 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Finished. Junpei heard the small telltale sound of the lock opening. He grabbed the handle and took a deep breath and pulled it up. Inside was a piece of paper. It was roughly the same size as the one Clover had been holding. Junpei picked it up. This is what it said. Fact 1. The nonary game was played once before, 9 years ago. Fact 2. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. Fact 3. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical CEO. Gentaro Hongo. Cradle Pharmaceutical's Chief of Staff. Nagisa Nijisaki. Cradle Pharmaceutical R&D Supervisor. Teruki Habusa. Majority shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceutical. Kagechika Musashido. I must punish them for the innocent lives they sacrificed. This is the only warning they will receive, that innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. 0. Hold on a second. These 4 people are with me. So it's Ace is one of them. Chief of Staff, I don't know. R&D Supervisor. Donnell? Shareholder in Cradle Pharmaceutical. Anyone I know with money? So it's not... So we can like rule out that Snake was in there before. Wait. You know, I could just like go about this, but like I don't want to waste time. There are 5 people waiting for him in the bedroom. Ace, Lotus, Sans, 7, and June. He looked at each one of them in turn, slowly placed his hands in the pocket of his vest. Sorry, but do you think you could come with me? I want all of you to go through the big hospital room. There's something I want to be sure of. What do you want to be sure of? I want to know if the person I suspect really is the culprit. Then you're saying, I think I've got it figured out. I know who killed Snake and Clover. The atmosphere of the room changed. Grief was suddenly gone, replaced by attention like a strap of leather stretched to its limit. 5 sets of eyes stared at Junpei. He pretended not to notice. Anyways, if you could please move to the big hospital room, I'll explain everything as soon as we get there. Will Sans be in Smash Bros. Switch? Yes! He will be. Confirmed. They all heard the bell from the clock in the main staircase. The bell rang 5 times, then ceased. It was 5 o'clock. They had only an hour left. We don't have a lot of time left. Let's go. Slowly, one by one, they followed Junpei out of the bedroom. Actually, before we get started, I was hoping you could do something for me. Junpei stopped in front of door 3 and turned around. Ace, 7, and Lotus. Could you please place your palms on the red? What? Why? If we need to get to the shower room, why don't we just... No, we're not going inside. Once you've authenticated, step away from the door. Why? Please, just do it. Or perhaps you don't want to know who killed Snake and Clover. June's implication was clear, and 7 understood perfectly. Fine. What about you, Ace? Lotus? Very well. Sure. Quickly, they pressed their palms onto the red. Once they'd finished, they stepped away from the door, as Junpei instructed. 3 asterisks shone from the red's display panel. Junpei approached it and held his bracelet over the scanner. He made quite sure he didn't place his palm on it, instead brought his bracelet near it. And the 4th asterisk appeared. Just as Junpei had expected, it was possible to authenticate without placing one's palm on the red, so as long as the bracelet was brought near it. Junpei pulled the lever down. Door 3 opened like a hungry mouth. 9 long seconds passed. And the door shut unfed. Junpei walked back slowly to the others, who were waiting some distance from the door, talking to one another. Sans and June had joined them as well. It looked as though they had found a chance to break into the conversation. They hadn't found a chance to break into the conversation yet. As Junpei approached, they turned to look at him, curiosity plain on their face. Before long, the other 3 did as well. Clearly, they were all expecting some answers. I appreciate your cooperation. Clearly, he had hoped for something more forthcoming. He continued. By the way, Ace, would you mind if I asked you something? What is it? Do you know who I am? What kind of question? Just answer it, please. Who am I? You're Junpei. Of course, who else would you be? Unfortunately, that's the wrong answer. Actually, I'm Santa. What? Ace's voice was full of surprise, but it was also tinged with confusion and fear. Everyone else looked nearly as surprised. Sans looked especially shocked to discover that he was actually someone else. If he spoke, however, the trap would be exposed. Junpei quickly continued. The clothes I'm wearing, I borrowed from Junpei, and the clothes he's wearing are mine. We had a little swap. That's ridiculous, impossible. So you're saying I'm not Sans? Of course you're not. Why? What makes you so sure I'm not Sans? If you're Sans, then door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. 1, 7, 8, 3, 9. 1 plus 9 would be 10. The digital root would be 1. But the 4 of us just opened door 3. You can't possibly be Sans. Your bracelet number isn't 3. It's 5, right? Only then was it too late did Ace realize his mistake. He set his jaw and glared at Junpei. You're exactly right. My bracelet number is 5. As he spoke, Junpei lifted his wrist up to show everybody the bright red 5 on his wrist. Sorry, Ace. I tricked you. Of course, I'm not really Santa. I'm Junpei. Who else could possibly think I was? It was obviously I'm not. To think I was ridiculous. But I guess you couldn't see just how obvious it was. I asked you before, didn't I? What makes you sure I'm not Sans? And you answered. If you were Sans, the door 3 wouldn't have opened for us just now. Most people wouldn't say something like that. And their justification for why I'm not Sans would, the first thing that would come to anyone else would be the bracelet, wouldn't be the bracelet number. The only one thing they'd say, one sentence, you don't have his face. Ace, you have prosopishnismigalago. Am I right? Junpei's voice was quiet and calm. He knew the truth. So did Ace. He could hear a sudden buzz of conversation from the others. What's that? He heard Lotus began to explain it to them. Ace glanced at him and turned back towards Junpei and sighed. Very well, I confess. I have soap. I cannot differentiate human faces. Is that what this is about? You want to mock me for my disorder? No, not at all. I'm not making fun of you at all. In fact, I feel kind of bad for you. No, the reason why I brought this up is that there's an excellent chance the person who killed Snake has prosopagnosia. I'm gonna fail every time I'm gonna try that. Ace's face tightened, his eyes narrowed. What do you mean? Junpei leaned casually against the iron piping of one of his beds. I'll just come right out with it. I think it was you, Ace. You killed him. Junpei was suddenly very aware of the 5 pairs of eyes on him. He had their undivided attention now. The room had grown very, very quiet. Junpei took a deep breath. That's ridiculous. What possible evidence do you... I have 3 pieces of evidence. First, think back to a few hours ago. You made us argue over the 3 doors here in the big hospital room. There was no way all 7 people could go through them. Lotus suggested that we sacrifice one of us. Lotus looked awkwardly. Junpei glanced at her and continued. Then you, Ace, said, I'll stay here. Why would you say something like that? Hello!
Hello. Sorry, I had
It's
a phone
pretty
call.
simple, really. You just missed a ton of exposition and, like, mystery.
I've also missed more than half of this game.
That's true. You missed, like, so much of this game. You didn't want us to see the dead body in the shower room. You see, if Ace stayed behind, there were only 2 doors the rest of us could go through. Door 7 and 8. If there's no way we could get through door 3, the shower room, you knew that, didn't you, Ace? That's why you volunteered to stay behind. Come on now, I think that's going to be going a bit far. I can understand if you're jealous of my bravery, but please don't devalue my actions. I just wanted to save the rest of you. Surely you can understand my altruism, sorry. Junpei stared off into the darkness at something very interesting and lazily began to dig at a persistent bit of wax out of his ear. You already knew, didn't you? You knew that whichever doors we took, eventually we'd end up back in the big hospital room. What on earth are you saying? Of course I didn't know that. How could I have? Really? Yes. Pleading was not something they'd heard from Ace before. Junpei, pulling the piece of wax from his ears, glanced at it and flicked it off into the darkness. Well, that's cool. I've got 2 more pieces of evidence that says you're the killer. 2 is that, as I said earlier, you have prosopnegosia. Then you can't imply that a person who can't distinguish human faces must be a bad person. Junpei, they call that prejudice. No, I'm not that stupid. Then why? Well, before I explain, I suppose there's something I should tell you. The corpse in the shower room, that's not Snake's. What? Snake? Ace's face went pale. The others looked confused as well, as if the body wasn't Snake's. I didn't put it together right away, but there was something Clover told me. She said that Snake's left arm was prosthetic. He had lost his real arm in an accident. But the body we saw in the shower room, let's call him Guy X. Guy X's arm was definitely flesh and blood. In other words, Guy X couldn't possibly have been Snake. God, no, that's impossible. Ace had started muttering deliriously himself, shaking his head back and forth. Junpei was long past caring. Let's say, hypothetically, that the killer didn't have prosopnegosia. If that were the case, then he would immediately realize that Guy X wasn't Snake. If the clothes weren't the same as Snake's, their face would be completely different. It would have been obvious they were different people, and yet they still killed him. Why? Why would they kill a stranger who had just shown up? On the other hand, if the killer did have prosopnegosia, it would make sense. They thought Guy X was Snake and killed him. Wait just a moment. Let's say you're right, and I mistook Guy X for Snake. Even if I did, I would have no motive to kill him. Why would I want to kill Snake? I could think of at least 2 motives. 1. Snake knew about your past. If he ever revealed that what he knew would have been really bad for you. You really didn't want that to happen. So to make sure Snake's mouth stayed shut, you killed him. 2. Snake had a grudge against you. You knew that, or at least you could have easily assumed he did. Even without exposing your identity, he was a threat to you. You never knew when you might be attacked. You couldn't let your guard down. Every moment was a moment he might try something. You didn't want that kind of danger hanging over you, so you... Hey, hold on a minute. For the first time since the beginning of Junpei's explanation, someone besides Ace spoke. What's the past that Ace wouldn't want us to know? Why did Snake have a grudge against him? Look at this. He handed Sans a small piece of paper. Sans squinted at the paper and began to read. The nonary game was played once before, 9 years ago. The person with the number 2 bracelet attended the game 9 years ago. It was planned by the following 4 people. Cradle Pharmaceutical CEO, Gentaro Hongo. What is this? Slowly, Sans began to look up from the paper. His eyes met Junpei's. It's a message from Zero. It was in the safe, in the first-class cabin. Then suddenly... Give me a break! Ace's face was red and shaking, and his voice was full of fury tinged with desperation. That paper is a lie. Someone is trying to frame me. Me? You said me, right? Junpei's eyes narrowed and the trap began to close. Ace inhaled sharply, his eyes flicked off of Junpei to something, anything else. Wouldn't that mean that you're admitting that you're Hongo, the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, or am I mistaken? It was though a switch had been flipped. The color drained from Ace's face as he had realized what he had done. His eyes went wide. Very well, I admit that much. I'm the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical, Gentaro Hongo. So what if I am? I don't know anything about this nonary game that's supposed to take place 9 years ago. Everything on that scrap of paper is bullshit. Someone is trying to set me up, you see? First of all, Ace stammered as he tried to desperately work himself into a more tenable position. Junpei, you're claiming I did all this by myself. Think that over, alright? How could I have killed Snake all by myself? Not Snake. It was Guy X. I don't care who it was. You said the killer put this...
Hold on. Andy?
Yes?
I need you to do something for me.
Okay.
I need you to play this.
I see it. Yep. There you go. You said the killer...
Perfect.
You said the killer put this other man into door 3, right? Yeah, maybe. Then I couldn't have possibly... This is so good. Then I couldn't have possibly done that alone. I could have opened door 3 with only myself and Guy X. Nope, you could have. What? Ace's face was tight, his teeth were clenched. Junpei fixed him with a level stare. The trap was about to close. Actually, Ace, when you were unconscious, I took something from you. Remember when you were injected with that anesthetic and fell asleep on the big hospital room? Yeah, back then, I took this. Junpei put his hand into his pocket. No, you couldn't have! Ace's right hand moved. Junpei smiled. I got you, Ace. Your right hand tells me all I need to know. You want to tell me what you were so worried about? What's in your pocket? It's the number 9 bracelet, isn't it? Ace, Guy X, the 9th man's bracelet? That was all you needed to open door 3. 1, 2, 9, 12, 1, 2, 3. That's how you killed Guy X all by yourself, Ace. All you needed was the number 9 bracelet in the chest pocket. Ace lowered his hands from where it had stopped, halfway into his pocket. He looked down at the floor, his face hidden from Junpei. All he could see was the corner of Ace's mouth, twitching like a dying fish. If you want to play innocent, that's fine by me. Go ahead, tell me I don't have the bracelet, if that's what you want to do. But if you could take off your coat and hand it to me, I would really appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll have to take it from you by force, right, Seven? Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. Seven cracked his knuckles with a gun. With a sound like gunfire.
A gun.
Sorry.
He cracked his knuckles with a gun.
Oh god. The theme is making me. I have to turn it off. It's getting me too excited.
It's okay.
Ace roared with laughter. He threw his arms wide and his head back and laughed, filling the room with a sound that scarcely belonged there. Then it stopped. His arms came down. His head dropped to look straight ahead at Junpei. Oh god. Look how menacing. His face was flat and cold, devoid of any emotion. Well done, Junpei. As you so correctly deduced, I have the number 9 bracelet. I retrieved it while we were searching for the missing hardware for the red. I left the room. I was supposed to search and headed back to the first cabin on B deck. His voice showed no emotion, no sense of remorse or interest. It was almost bored, as though he were reciting an especially dull corporate letter. Excuse me. My purpose was to attain the number 9 bracelet. 9 is a potent ally in the nonary game. Adding 9 to any set of numbers won't alter the digital root. 1, 9, 1. 2, 9, 2. As you can see, 9 is a very useful number here. With it, one can go anywhere with anyone. So I made for the first-class cabin to obtain it. Ace successfully acquired the number 9 bracelet. He also found an unexpected bonus, the knife the 9th man had been holding. He slipped both of them into his chest pocket and left as quickly as he'd come. He walked down the stairs and headed back to where he was supposed to be. That's when he met Guy X and mistook him for Snake. Snake was on his way to the large hospital room and had not noticed Ace behind him. Ace made sure if it stayed that way. Well then, who was Snake then?
Who was phone?
He followed the man wearing Snake's clothes to door 3. When the man stopped, he walked behind him quietly and called out, "Snake." The man turned back to look at Ace. He said nothing. No words came out of his half-open mouth. He seemed dazed somehow, almost like a man half asleep. Perhaps he had been drugged? It didn't matter to Ace. Ace was certain that the man was Snake. He knew Snake had been part of the nonary game 9 years before. Snake hadn't recognized Ace immediately, but he was blind. That much made sense. Then why hadn't Snake said anything to him? Surely he hadn't forgotten what happened to him in the nonary game, but not once had he attempted to confront Ace. Perhaps his lack of sight had prevented him from recognizing Ace, or perhaps Snake had conspired with Zero to deceive Ace. In either event, he was a threat, and it was better to deal with him sooner rather than later. Ace's mind was made up. He moved. He held the number 9 bracelet over the red. He waved his own bracelet in front of the red, and finally grabbed Snake's arm and shoved his hand against the scanner panel. The door opened. Ace threw the man through it. 9 seconds later, the door shut. 81 seconds passed. The man inside the door passed away. After that, I returned to my post as though nothing had happened. After conducting my own search, I returned to the large hospital room when the 1 a.m. bell rang. Ace's eyes were cold and his cheeks were hollow and pallid. When he spoke, only his lips and tongue moved. The rest of his face were eerily still. Junpei glared at Ace. He took a deep breath and thought about the next question he had to ask. He didn't want to. He knew what the answer would be. He just didn't want to hear it. Junpei swallowed, then spoke. "Ace, did you kill Clover?" "Yes." "Why? Why did you kill her?" "She was Snake's sister. It was possible he had told her something dangerous. Additionally, she had gone through door 1. It seemed likely that she might have found it." "Found what? Why don't you go through door 1 yourself? Perhaps it's hidden somewhere." 7 and Lotus interrupted. "Yeah, but Lotus and I went through door 1 too. We didn't see anything suspicious." "Yes, as I thought as much after I heard your report at the central staircase. I doubt the two of you could find it." "But perhaps Clover was different. Perhaps she had found it. I was therefore desperate to find her. And at last I did, in the first-class cabin." I spoke very calmly. "Did you see it?" "See what? Don't act as if you don't understand. You were in the captain's quarters, weren't you?" "What are you talking about?" "Very well. By the way, what are you doing here, Clover?" "What? Nothing. There's blood on your shoes. It looks fresh. Did you go take a look at the 9th man's corpse?" "I see. Your silence suggests that you've noticed. You saw something, didn't you? You saw that his bracelet was gone." Clover ran. She made for the exit, but Ace stood in her way. "You aren't going anywhere." He caught her by the collar as she passed and threw her to the floor hard. She leapt back up and darted past him to the hallway. Ace followed at a run. He was faster. That was how I killed Clover. His face hadn't changed. If he felt guilt or remorse, or anyone might feel after taking the life of another human being, it didn't show. "You son of a bitch." Seven's whole body trembled with rage, and his voice rumbled with hate. Sand's eyes were bloodthirsty, and Lotus and June's faces were distorted by anger and hatred. Ace looked at them and smiled. It was a cold, cruel thing with no humor in it. He shook his head and sighed. I admit it. I've lost. I've lost completely and utterly. But don't misunderstand, Junpei. I didn't lose to you. I lost to Zero, not you. I'm rather disgusted with myself for falling into such a simple trap. And it was a trap. Make no mistake. I was trapped and manipulated by Zero. The man I killed in the shower room. If he wasn't Snake, then I have no idea who he was. But if he was wearing Snake's clothes, and that was no coincidence, he had also been injected with something that reduced his cognition and prevented him from identifying himself or resisting me. And we can't forget the components that were removed from the red before we arrived. I have no doubt that Zero planned all of this. Zero made sure that I would kill that man. It follows, of course, that Zero knew everything I would do. I misread that. Zero knew everything I would do. That I would try to take the number 9 bracelet. That I would try to kill Snake. Everything. Suddenly, Junpei remembered the paper he'd found in the safe. He remembered the last words Zero had written on it. I must punish them. For the innocent lives they sacrificed, this is the only warning they will receive. That innocent souls might be saved. I now state the truth. Zero. And he remembered the other words he'd heard from Clover. I think Zero is one of us. One by one, Junpei looked at the 5 people standing in front of him. Ace, Sans, June, Seven, Lotus. Zero is one of us. No, Junpei paused. There was one more person. Snake. It was clear now that the man who died in the shower was not Snake. That meant that Snake was almost certainly still alive. Perhaps Snake was Zero. Perhaps Snake had made Guy X wear his clothes so that he would appear to be dead. Where was Snake now? Perhaps he was somewhere laughing at them. If he was Zero, then surely he had lied about many other things. Was he watching them? Well, I believe I've finished with my confession. Why don't we get moving? It sounded as if he just finished doing nothing more exciting than describing the weather. For Sans, it was the last straw. What the hell is this shit? Aren't you going? You aren't going anywhere, you son of a bitch. We're gonna leave your ass here to rot. Why? Because I killed Clover? That's ridiculous. Why are you so upset that I killed a little bitch? She was nothing to you. A stranger you met only a few hours ago. Am I wrong? You bastard! Seven roared as he lifted a fist that would likely shattered Ace's jaw, but someone else was faster. It was Lotus. She stepped towards Ace, raised a fist of her own, and drove it straight into his nose. You got some fire, don't you? I confess, I rather like a tough woman. He sniffed and wiped a small trickle of blood from his nose with a raised eyebrow. Well, maybe you'd like another one then. Before that, let me give you one of my own. Lotus scarcely had time to blink. Ace snaked his arms around her and pulled Lotus's back up against him. In the same motion, he reached into his coat pocket. The gun! It's the gun!
The gun.
Gun! I forgot you were
The
here.
golden gun.
I was so like invested in the story that I forgot you were here.
I was on mute. I'm just listening.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
Almost lazily, he tilted it to point at Lotus's head. If any of you so much as blink, I won't hesitate to pull this trigger. I've already killed 2, no, 3 people. Don't think I'm not ready to make it 4. 3 people? What do you mean? Very well, let me take this opportunity to illuminate you. The person who killed the 9th man was me, although I suppose, to be more accurate, I encouraged him to kill himself. While you were examining the main staircase, he came to me and told his name. I recognized it at once, so I gave him a little push. Just a little white lie. It seems the setting for the dead were altered. Now it only requires a single person to activate the detonator in the bracelet. Investigate what's beyond door 5. We'll meet again later. Okay, have a good one, guys. I'm going off ahead now. Well then... Shit, why isn't this stopping? God damn it. You lied! Open the door, please! I'm begging you! Help me! Please get me out of here! Please get me out of here! Oh my god, there's no time left! Listen! I was lied to! He lied to me! He put me in here! It was him! He killed me! It was him! Why did he just say his name? Oh, I guess he didn't know his name yet, did he?
Nope. I guess not.
Because they all exchanged fake names after he died, I believe. I had 4 reasons for killing him. 1. As I said before, the nonary game, the number 9 bracelet, is the utmost importance. If I had allowed him to keep such a useful tool, he, or it, would have become a threat to me. As such, I decided that he should be eliminated early on. 2. I wanted the number 9 bracelet. If I could manage to obtain it, then I would be able to manipulate the game as I saw fit. I would be unable to acquire the bracelet unless its owner was dead. 3. Even setting aside his number, he would have been nothing but trouble for me. He was aware of my past. He knew what happened 9 years ago. It was important that I eliminate him before he was able to disseminate this information. 4. Lastly, I wish to conduct a simple test. A test to see if the nonary game was serious or a poor attempt at a joke. I needed to be quite sure. As such, I encouraged him to act against the rules so that I might observe the outcome. Junpei glared at him. I don't get your third motive. What in the hell happened 9 years ago? Didn't I say the nonary game was played? I planned it out and conducted its execution. Why? What on earth was that supposed to do? I don't really think it has any obligation to tell you that. I don't have any obligation to tell you that. He smirked. He was trying to provoke them. It was working. Although Ace had paid very little attention to Lotus after catching her, the gun had never waved from her temple. She looked quite pale when she spoke. And when she spoke, her voice shook. Hey, what's with this gun? Where did he get this? Why don't you tell her, Sans? Sans ground his teeth and glared at Ace. On the other side of door 6, we found a gun on the coffin in the cargo room. The bastard must have grabbed it when we weren't looking. Indeed I did. That was a pretty serious mistake, you know. Just saying you intended to leave it behind. Ace laughed, a snort, derisive snort, and gave Junpei a sickening pitying look. Well, there isn't much time left. I'll be off then. Where are you going? Do I really need to explain? I had assumed it would be obvious. I have the number 9 bracelet, and now I have Lotus. Wasn't there a door with a 9 on it in the room that looked like a church? That's where you're going, isn't it? How do you know that? Sans told me about it while we were looking for Clover. I see. Well, you are correct, that is my destination. But now I must say goodbye to all of you. And please don't forget my warning. Move, and I'll pull the trigger. I don't need her alive to open the door, you know. As he spoke, Ace began backing towards the door, practically dragging Lotus behind him. Junpei, Sans, June, and Seven stood frozen. Ace had the face of a man who'd gone mad. They had no doubt he would pull the trigger. Do you understand who killed Lotus and all the other endings? I did deduce that it was Ace, but I didn't want to say it because, like, it was like, I don't want to be wrong. So, but yeah, I guessed it was Ace. Goodbye. He stepped through the door, and he was gone. It fell shut. In the blink of an eye, they were gone. And as soon as Ace and Lotus were gone, Junpei and the others leapt for the door in pursuit of Ace. But as Junpei laid his hand on the doorknob, there was a noise behind him. He looked over his shoulder. June was kneeling on the floor, breathing heavily. June, what happened? Are you alright? Sans ran to June and wrapped his arm around her before she could collapse all the way. Jesus, you're burning up. Jesus? Santa? Huh, get it? June's fever had returned again for no apparent reason. Her eyes were more watery and her eyelids drooped. Her breath became dry, shallow gasps. I'm okay. Really, I'm fine. You should be worried about Lois. Lois.
Lois.
Lois. She was breathing hard now. She could barely summon the strength to talk. Junpei was torn. He couldn't leave June alone in the state she was in. But every moment they waited, Ace was further away, Lotus's life in his hands. What was Junpei supposed to do? June's eyes drifted to Junpei's. She managed to muster a weak smile. Jumpy, don't worry about me. I just need a little rest. I'll be fine. Don't you remember? I just need a little... I need to rest a little bit last time. So please, please save Lotus. Think about Ace, what Ace has done, Junpei. When he's got what he needs from Lotus, you really think he's gonna let her just walk away? You guys go on ahead. As soon as June starts feeling better, we'll follow you. Go! Junpei looked at June. She nodded once. She couldn't manage much more, but it was all the confirmation Junpei needed. His resolve was set. Alright, come on, Seven. We're going after Ace. Hell yeah! Snake. Sans, shish. Who are you people? Sans, take care of June. I'm trusting you. Sans nodded. Junpei turned before he had a chance to change his mind and started running towards the door. He could hear Seven's heavy footsteps behind him. Let's go. Junpei and Seven exploded into the hallway, their feet pounding at the metal door as they ran. We're here. Junpei and Seven finally arrived at the church, exhausted and out of breath. Their lungs struggled to catch their breath, their eyes frantically scanned the room. No sign of Ace or Lotus. Do you think they already went through? He reached up to wipe a palm full of sweat from his brow. Maybe. Even as he spoke, Junpei was already on his way to the larger of the number 9 doors. He looked at the red. The display panel went vacant. He spun around and headed towards the smaller door. The red would tell him if Ace and Lotus had moved to another room. Engaged. It's occupied. That means Ace and Lotus went through here. Yeah, it seems like it. Junpei and Seven stepped away from the door. They retreated to the center of the room and began to talk. What do we do now? What do we do? The big door is still vacant, but the two of us can't do anything with it. First of all, our digital route is not 9. And then, just as they were pondering what to do next, there was a noise. A noise like someone hitting a thick wooden panel. Junpei looked up, surprised. Seven followed suit, his eyes jumping around their room looking for the source of the sound. It wasn't long before they found the altar. Or more precisely, what was on it. The coffin. Yeah, let's open it. How? By force. I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, you never know until you try, right? The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? I forget. Anyways, we gotta try. Junpei and Seven leapt at the coffin. They grabbed hold of what purchase they could find and pulled. Damn it! See, didn't I tell you? If you could just pull it open, why would it have something like that? Seven pointed at a keypad on the side of the coffin. So unless I put in the right password, it's not going to open. The noise hadn't stopped. In fact, it continued. It only gotten louder and more forceful. What were they supposed to do? Junpei wondered. Was there some sort of clue somewhere? They stood there for a few moments, staring at the coffin, and then Seven spoke. Hey, Junpei. I remember you mumbling some weird numbers over the bathroom in the first-class cabin. You got those numbers by solving the secret message Clover was holding, right? Truth had gone or something like that. Yeah, that's right. What about it? Well, maybe that number's the passcode for this thing, too. Come on, that's impossible. Those numbers were the code to unlock the safe. Yeah, but the person who set up that safe in this coffin is the same person, right? Zero set up both of these. Yeah, probably. Well, then they might have been the same passcode for both of them. That's ridiculous. Why don't you just try it? I mean, it's not like you'll make anything worse. It'll be just a waste of time. There's no way they're the same number. How do you know that? You'll never know unless you try. The only necessity for success is the willingness to suffer 1,000 failures. Who said that? You. Funny. Fine. He knelt down in front of the keypad and looked at it. It was a shit, what was it? 1438.
Do you need me to contact the spirits?
No, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm just trying to remember it. It was like a 1484321 or something. No, 421. The ending number was 421. 143834421. That's what it was. He typed them in. 143834421. He checked that the numbers. He entered the right numbers, took a deep breath, and pressed the E button. It only took a moment. What? You gotta be kidding me. There was a click. And with a heavy clunk, the lid of the coffin slid off onto the floor, and out popped Dracula!
The skeleton.
Snake.
Skeleton popped out. Snake.
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 Those voices. Junpei and Seven, unless I'm mistaken. Where are the others? Are they elsewhere? Of course there was no reason Snake would have known anything about where anyone else would be. Junpei and Seven looked at one another. There was a great deal he needed to know, but they had to tell him something. However, so they began to talk. Snake explained to them how he came to be locked in the coffin. Apparently he had been hit with some sort of knockout gas, and Junpei and Seven explained what had happened to the rest of them. There was one thing, however, that neither Seven nor Junpei could bring themselves to say, that Ace had killed Clover. They feared that Snake knew he might well go insane. They decided as much by the look of the moment. Snake had climbed out of the coffin. Snake's story explained frustratingly little. Zero's true identity was a mystery, as were his intentions. Why Zero had put Guy X in Snake's clothes. If Zero had left a note for them to say that the nonary game had been played 9 years before, was there some connection? Junpei put the question to Snake. His answer was less than illuminating. What were you talking about? I apologize, I have no idea what you're saying. He seems as though Snake was perhaps not being entirely honest, but that knowledge did Junpei and Seven little good. No matter how many times they asked, he insisted he knew nothing. It became clear that Snake wouldn't give in, and every second they spent asking him was a second wasted. Their time limit was fast approaching. Snake's release from the coffin had changed nothing. They still needed to follow Ace as quickly as possible. However, they stood in silence.
Andy,
What?
you've got a very important set of messages in Twitch chat.
Oh yeah. I do not like this game. Want to pluck Kirby. Kirby plucks. Yeah. We'll be playing Kirby shortly. We're in the middle of an ending, and it's...
Yep.
I didn't actually think this ending would take so long, because the other endings were, like, so short. They were, like, maybe 10, 15 minutes long. I don't know how long we've been at this, but we've been here for a while now. He glanced over at Snake's wrist. Sure enough, he could see the 2 on the bracelet on Snake's wrist. The 3 of us can't make the digital root of 9. Yeah, we just get 5. We're stuck here then. Oh, hey, I just remembered something. Seven began patting his pockets as if he were checking to see if any of them held anything. What is it? I found something earlier. What did you find? This. He'd finally found the pocket he wanted, and his hand dove into it. Seven pulled out something round and metal. A bracelet. There was no mistaking the number was glowing. The number glowing at them from the face like a cartoon eye. 0. Zero's bracelet. What the hell? Are you saying that 7 is the number 0 bracelet? Yeah. Where did you get that? Snake's question was innocent enough, but if he'd learned the truth, he'd been able to see, he would have noticed. If he had been able to see, he would have noticed 7 and look away. Clover gave it to me. She did? Yeah. How did she come by it? Well, she found it, see, on the other side of the door 1, A deck, in the captain's quarters. She asked me to hold on to it because it was too big and bulkier for her to be lugging around. It was a lie, and Junpei knew it. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Didn't want to disturb the crime scene, you know? Basic stuff. Well, I did borrow one thing. Alright, Junpei. Been nice knowing you. What? 7 and 2 is 9. Come on, man, I'm just kidding. Still, just in case, I want to make sure that the 0 bracelet gets picked up by the red. Snake, give me a hand, alright? Without waiting for a response, he started walking towards the door. Junpei and Snake followed him quietly. Before long, they found themselves in front of the larger of the 2 doors. 7 and Snake put their palms on the red. Once they had done that, 7 put the number 0 bracelet on the scanner panel as well. The 3rd asterisk appeared on the screen. Now they just needed to pull the lever and the door would open. Huh? Why isn't it opening? Oh, well, the 3rd asterisk is lit up, so it must have registered the 0 bracelet. Maybe it isn't actually 0. What? The bracelet may not actually produce the number 0 when scanned. That's what I'm saying. Why don't we try a few different combinations? Perhaps we can determine the number that the bracelet actually contains. Blech. Junpei nodded. They decided to use the following combination. It's Junpei 7 and the bracelet. They scan the bracelets. Oh shit, I got it on the first try.
Nice.
It opened. Yes, so would it seem. 7 clearly hadn't thought their experiment would produce anything useful and looked rather confused. Snake was, as usual, calm and smug. The door slid closed. Junpei's forehead furrowed as he thought. That meant the number for the mysterious bracelet was 6. But how could it be 6? The display on the bracelet clearly showed a 0. Suddenly, from far beneath them, they heard a creak and groan of tearing metal. With it came the sound of water pouring into the parts of the ship that had until recently been dry. Oh man, that's not good. I guess our time's just about up. At any rate, we know that the doors can be opened. Let's go. But, Snake, are you sure? Yeah, you know that only Junpei and I can go this way. You know, you needn't to worry. I have a solution to this problem. My last resort, but now it's not the time for the last resorts. Then when? Last resort? Junpei 7 and Snake ran full tilt down a long, straight hallway. They were headed for the stern of the ship, had no time for distractions. As they ran, 7 spoke. Gotta admit, you really surprised me there, kid. Couldn't figure out the hell you were gonna get out of that one. How come you didn't do that right off the bat? As I told you, it was a last resort. Had I used it at the beginning of the game, I would have come under a great deal of suspicion. I imagine most people wouldn't have taken it to mean that I was 0. Once they convinced themselves of that, I wasn't optimistic about my chances of making it out of here alive, let alone unscathed. I felt it best to play my cards close to the chest as if it were. That way, if I were in a situation where there was nothing else I could do, I'd have a little trick up my sleeve. Just have to take my bracelet off. Snake's plan was simple but effective. He'd simply removed his bracelet. How? To Junpei, it looked as though Snake had simply crushed the bones of his hands until they were small enough to fit through the wristband. Of course, that would have been practically impossible. So how had he done it?
The prosthetic.
My brother's left arm, yeah, it's not a person arm. It's fake! He slid the bracelet off and tossed it into the coffin. With it gone, he had little to fear from the numbered doors. They kept running for a while longer, and eventually came upon a set of stairs leading downward into the right sides of the hallway. They stopped and peered down the staircase. As far as they could tell, it went all the way to the bottom deck. There didn't seem to be any flooding. They nodded quickly to one another and jogged down the stairs. It only took a few minutes to make their ways to the bottom deck. There was a single hallway in front of them, at the end of which was a single door. Junpei threw it open. Inside was a massive iron gate, a plate that was affixed to the top of it. It read, "Incinerator." Incinerator? Oh my, that doesn't sound very pleasant. Do you see a lever near the gate, perhaps? Yeah, right over here. How did you know that? Well, I'd be happy to regale you with the story. I imagine it should only take half a day or so. Junpei grumbled and gave Snake a dirty look and jogged over the lever. If you pull it, the door ought to open. He pulled the lever down. And then they got engulfed by flames, and then they died. With a rumble of an ancient motor, the door opened. There was no need to hold back, no time to hesitate. They pushed their way inside. Standing in front of them were Ace and Lotus. Oh. Hi. Ace still held the revolver in his hand. He was still pressed hard against Lotus's temple. A dark bruise began to form near the tip. Even from several yards away, Junpei could see that Lotus was shaking. She was terrified. But perhaps more interesting was that Junpei saw behind them. 9. Another number 9 door. But why? Why was there another one? The door stopped Junpei in his tracks. It simply shouldn't have been there. As his brain finally began to consider why, the whine of a warring klaxon filled the air, drowning out any thought. Warning. Warning. Emergency incineration command has been acknowledged. Automatic incineration will take place in 9 minutes. Please evacuate the incinerator immediately. Oh my, how exciting. You've run into quite a show here, Zero. A terrifying smile twisted Ace's face. What's the matter? Too frightened to understand? Here, let me explain. It's said that the incineration system is about to activate. In 9 minutes, this room will be engulfed in flames. Huh? Who are you? You don't recognize me? I'm hurt. It's me, Snake. Snake? Yes, you are alive. I'm afraid your bizarre child had me confused. I'm quite glad to see that you're alive. Ace's voice didn't change. Snake ground his teeth. If you don't mind me asking, how did you get here? Snake, Junpei, 7? The 3 of you couldn't have opened the door with a 9. Did you use Clover's bracelet, perhaps? What? Well, your reaction suggests that you did not. Hold on, what did you think we have Clover's bracelet? Junpei felt his chest tighten. Oh, they haven't told you. Told me what? Well, clearly not. Normally I would take some time and to enjoy the moment, but I'm afraid my time is at a premium just now. I have to make this quick. Clover. Don't do it, Ace! Keep your goddamn mouth shut! Clover. I said stop it! Don't listen to him, Snake! Junpei could feel his voice growing hoarse, but Snake didn't listen to him. What happened to Clover? Ace looked at him. The corner of his mouth curled into the hook of a cruel smile. Clover died. The color left Snake's face. He shook his head weakly. No, that's not true. It's impossible. It's a lie. It has to be a lie. Oh, but it's quite true. I can assure you of that. I killed her myself, you see. What? I'm sorry, did I stutter? I killed her. Snake's face twisted into a mask of rage, mottled red rising dot to his pale skin. His entire body shook. He looked to Junpei disturbingly like a demon. I would have rather she died with less suffering. A bullet in her brain, perhaps, would have been ideal. Unfortunately, that would have made quite a bit of noise. Circumstances being what they were, I was forced to settle for the knife. The one the ninth man had, you remember? I believe I caught her just below the shoulder blade. I was rather lucky, in fact. My first thrust went right between her ribs. Her flesh was so soft. My knife slid in slow... My knife slid in so easily, there was no resistance. That feeling was, I confess, I feel rather excited. It's a powerful memory. Perhaps, someday perhaps, I hope I can feel it again. Incinerator will begin in 7 minutes. I'm going to kill you. And you are going to die. Today. Snake's words were regrettable. Today! I'm sorry, what? I'm going to kill you. You're going to kill me? Please do. Come now, I'm waiting. Don't do it! Don't listen to him, Snake! Stop it, kid. He's screwing with your head. Is there a problem? What are you waiting for, boy? Don't you want me to send you to join your sister? Don't, Snake! Don't do it! But Snake could no longer hear them. Snake could no longer hear anything. Snake moved like a bolt of lightning. His scream echoed through the incineration chamber, full of rage and despair. Snake! Snake! Snake!
Great.
Sorry, that's Lotus. Ah! Another scream filled the room. It was Lotus. She ran across the room towards Junpei, her eyes wide with terror. Snake's ill-fated attack had loosened Ace's grip on her. She had made a run for it. She'd reached Seven and Junpei and ducked behind them. Junpei could feel her fingers on his arm, tight enough to be painful, keeping him between her and Ace. Incineration will begin in 5 minutes. He's still got a gun. Give me the woman. He raised his gun. I need her. Without her, the bracelet will be unable to open this door. Quickly now. I don't have time for your shenanigans. In the center of the room, Snake's body lay eerily still. He looked like a human larvae, prone and vulnerable on the floor. I see. And it would seem I have no choice. The rest of you must die here as well. Fortunately, I have 5 bullets left. 1 for Junpei, another for Lotus, and the last 3 for that lump of the idiotic man you call Seven. I will take Lotus's body with me and leave this room. Incineration will begin in 4 minutes. Well, it looks like our time together is at an end. I rather enjoyed playing with you. Goodbye. Junpei could see Ace's finger tighten. He could see it begin to squeeze down the trigger, his body tense, preparing for the catastrophic impact of hot lead against human flesh. Then it happened. Snake stood up. What? No, that's impossible. For the first time, Ace's composure broke. With obvious effort, Snake lunged forward 1 step closer to Ace, then another. He looked for all the world like a zombie. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. His voice was mournful wailing of the undead. Stay away from me. Get back. Stop. If you come any closer, I'll get away from me. Little by little, Ace was retreating. Snake didn't stop. He continued his stiff, inexorable approach, his eyes twin pools of pure fury. Listen to me. I said don't come any closer. Shit, you bastard. He shot all 5 guns. And bullets, all 5 gun. 5 times in the air. The incinerator was split by the cracks of a bullet. Snake's body twitched as 5 clouds of blood and torn flesh leapt into the air across his body. A fine pink mist drifted from his body and disappeared. Snake made a strange sort of choking cough. And then his strength was gone. His legs crumbled. His broken and battered body slid to the floor. Incineration will begin in 3 minutes. But Snake wasn't done. Even as the pool of blood beneath him grew, he began to move. He half crawled, half slid towards Ace. One bloody arm wrapped itself around Ace's leg. The other gripped his thigh with strength that should have been long gone. "You son of a bitch! You're a monster! Get off of me! Let me go! Damn you!" He kicked at Snake with his free leg, driving his foot into Snake's face, his arm, his shoulder. It made no difference. Snake refused to release him. Once a snake had ensnared its prey, rarely does it release it. "This is it, Ace. We're going to burn to death. Together." "What?" Incineration will begin in 2 minutes. "Ah, damn it! Damn you! Get off! Let me go, you monster!" Okay, look. Think about it this way. My company owns a wonderful hospital. It has excellent doctors. You're not too wounded, seriously. I'm sure they can fix you up easily. You don't have to die. You can be saved. Just let me go. Pathetic. Begging for your life. Then Seven and Lotus began to speak. Junpei could hear his tears in their voices, and their words were strained. "Snake, that's enough. You can stop now. Yes, he's right, Snake. You've done enough. Come on, Snake, let's go. Let's get out of here. You have to come with us. You have to leave together. We have to leave together." Snake turned towards them. He coughed and blood splattered across the floor. Then he smiled, a sort of sad smile. "I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't do that. You'd best forget about me. You need to leave soon. I'm going to take him with me." "Shut up! Be quiet!" "I couldn't save Clover. My sister died because of me. Perhaps this will begin to atone for that. Perhaps in the afterlife she can forgive me. Now go. Go now. You have to go." Incineration will begin in 1 minute. God damn it, shit, we're out of time. We gotta go. Seven ran towards the exit. Lotus followed him, but Junpei couldn't move. There were white lines down Snake's cheeks where his tears washed away the blood. He was broken body and soul, and Junpei felt as though half of his own heart had been torn out. His eyes stung as he tried desperately to swallow to clear the lump in his throat. "Junpei, what are you doing? You have to get out of here, now." Junpei's chest tightened, pulled taut by anger, misery, and the cold feeling of emptiness. Pure emotion surged through his heart alongside the torrent of blood. He could feel it building, a tremendous wave growing taller, taller, and taller, and then it broke, crashing down with thunderous force onto his shaking, unprepared mind. "Snake! Snake!" Junpei's rational mind was gone. He was driven by instinct now, as he launched himself across the floor at Snake and Ace. Or, he tried to. "Wait, don't be an idiot, Junpei!" He felt a hand grab him from behind. It was Seven. Before he had time to react, a larger man had pinned Junpei's arms to his sides and was hauling him bodily back towards the door. No, I have to help Snake! 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 Just get Snake. That's such an unfortunate name, but also like a fortunate name, but also unfortunate. Incineration will begin in 10 seconds. 7, 6. Damn it! I don't got a choice, kid. Don't blame me for this, alright? And then he knocked him out, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 0.
1. Oh, 0.
Gates 2 and 3 are locked down, beginning incineration. Junpei felt Seven's fist buried deep into his stomach, and his legs turned to mush. Seven scooped him up into the same motion and leapt through the door. It slammed shut behind them. Junpei struggled to shaky feet. He glanced over to see Lotus only a short distance away. Junpei ran to the door. There was a small window cut into it. Inside, he could see Ace and Snake. Shit! Damn you all! Why? Why? Why me? I don't deserve this! Answer me! Answer me, Zero. Why? Why? 0, 0, 0, 0. Wow.
Fire!
He didn't know how much time had passed. He didn't know how long he stood there in front of the incinerator. He looked to the side. Lotus's face was ashen, as if not for the hand she put against the wall, Junpei didn't think she could have stood. Seven looked old and tired and used. His eyes stared at the floor, seeing nothing. Junpei had said nothing. He simply began to walk towards the open door in the hallway they'd come down earlier. Hey, wait, Junpei! Where are you going? He blinked when their voices broke silence. He stopped. You stay here. I'll go get Sans and June. You're gonna bring them here? How? Don't worry about that. Just stay here and wait. He began to walk again. He looked over his shoulder and watched Seven and Lotus grow smaller and smaller. They stared back, not moving. He wasn't sure if they could. He turned around again. He knew where he was going. When they'd walked through the hallway earlier, he noticed an elevator at the end of the side hallway. If it still worked, then maybe. Before long, Junpei found himself in front of the elevator. Next to the door was a button with a triangle on it. He pushed it and the door opened. Junpei was in the large hospital room. June, Sans! He'd been calling and walked to the center of the room. She's dead, isn't she? She's dead. Damn it, where did they go? Seemingly increasingly frustrated and increasingly worried, Junpei left the large hospital room. He had no choice. He would have to look for them. Junpei's heart was heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling, but there was a part of him that felt he couldn't, that it would be wrong to, even if he could. With every step he took, his legs felt more and more like lead. Sometime later, Junpei found himself at the chapel. He stepped inside expecting to find nothing, but there on the red carpet in the center of the room... June! No, code names didn't matter any longer. She was Connie. Connie! Junpei cried her name and ran. Like lightning, he ran across the room towards her. Oh man, Connie. He stumbled to a stop. As he looked down, her body lying so still on the floor, he felt the icy grip of fear upon his heart. She was still, so very still. No, it couldn't be. It was impossible. Slowly, Junpei bent down towards her. His hand shook. He felt very cold and hot at the same time. He forced himself to look. Her back was moving. Slowly, it rose and fell. Relief washed over him. Connie! Junpei reached down and gently, very gently, lifted her up. Connie, are you alright? Jumpy. Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei, but saw nothing. Trembling, Junpei wrapped his arms around her back. She was cold, very cold. Junpei tried to convince himself that it was only his imagination, but she felt as though she were fading away. He could feel his heart pounding frantically in his chest. Connie, what the hell happened to you? You feel... Jumpy, I'm sorry. Her voice was very faint. I might not make it. No way I'm gonna let you die. I'm gonna save you, I promise. Thank you, Jumpy. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy. See you again, Jumpy. Really happy. Don't give me that. I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots more times. You've gotta hang on, alright, Connie? Jumpy, did you know you meant a lot to me when we were kids? I liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time. Junpei's vision had gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame. He looked down at Akane. Game over. There was a crack of static from above his head and a voice spoke. 0. You son of a bitch. Where are you hiding? Junpei frantically scanned the ceiling for the source of the voice. I'm right here. I've always been close to you. What the hell are you talking about? No matter. I will tell you again. Game over. This game has ended. No, it hasn't. I'm not gonna let it end yet. I'm gonna get out of here with Connie. You can't. It's impossible. Why? Because you chose the wrong path. Wrong path? That's correct. Your path was inevitable. However, admit defeat. You were there. Where there is shadow, there is light. Where there is light, there is shadow. So it goes. What are you talking about? It matters not. The loser has been decided. I told you I'm not gonna lose. No, you misunderstand. You haven't lost. I have lost. What? Junpei didn't have time to ponder what that meant before. He heard the door slam shut behind him. He spun around. There was no one there. Was it 0? Connie, wait here. I'll be right back, I promise. She managed a single nod. Junpei laid her back down gently, and leapt for the door. He yanked it open and shot outside. No one. The hall was empty. There was nothing moving anywhere. Damn it! He didn't want to leave Connie alone any longer than he had to, so Junpei turned around and headed back to the chapel. Connie? She wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere. She'd been lying there on the floor just moments before, and now she was gone. God. No. Where was she? Connie. I'm not yelling.
Got it!
Thank you. His cry split the heavens themselves. He screamed until his voice came out. Then he screamed some more, but there was nothing. No answer. His voice faded away, and all that remained was cold, unfeeling silence. That's when he noticed it. A strange smell. One he'd smelled before. The smell of a peculiar white smoke. 9 seconds later, Junpei's mind winked out.
Well. Well.
Bad
Sure.
end. Well, some end. How was that reading for you?
Huh?
How was that ending for you? How was that experience with 999 for you?
It's a very compelling story. I kind of want to play it.
Oh, you already know all the spoilers now.
It's true.
But there's also the other games. There's 3 games in the series, so... Can we see Kirby now? Yes. Yes,
Nope,
you can
you
see
don't.
Kirby now. We're gonna take a BRB though. I'm gonna get some water, because that snake voice and the ace voice were really hard on my throat. Shouldn't have done that, but I got into it.
I think, and I'm really sorry about this, but I'm gonna duck.
Oh,
I
you're
got
gonna
a
miss,
couple things
you're
back
gonna miss
to do.
Kirby.
When I come back, if you're still streaming, I'll hop in.
Alrighty.
I got a couple things that I need to take care of.
Alrighty, thank you for sitting back and doing the scream for me and
Yeah.
sharing conversation that was lack of there.
Yeah, I yelled a lot, like
Yeah.
usual.
Yeah.
Good stream.
Yes. Good. So I guess we have one more. The end, or is it? Or is it? I thought I could do both endings, but no. This ending took like 5 years to get through. I didn't think it would take 2 hours to get through, but here we are. The next ending will take me 7 years. The true end is long too. Okay, well, we got one more stream left, guys. We got one more stream left. Of 999 at least. Yes. Yes, I want to save. Ta-da! Alright. So now we have one more to go. We're gonna enjoy that last bit. I don't know when that'll be. Probably next week, some point. Maybe during the week. Maybe during the weekend. I don't know. But we're approaching the end here, and you did not see my emulator screen. Nope, not at all. But we're gonna go. Take a BRB. We'll be back with Kirby. I'll be back in like 5 minutes, so stay tuned. It's been 3 hours. I forgot. I'm back here. I was thinking about doing this now because I don't have any other time to do this. But we have art for this game that somebody did, and so I'm just gonna go on the board right now. I think someone re-uploaded it actually. Yeah, someone did an art for this game and actually colored it in. So that's cool of them. So here is. By How Quaint. Oh, hey Quaint. This is a snake. Hello, Colonel. I seem to be in some sort of killing game. So yeah, it's good art. Good art. I appreciate it. This is like the only art from my stream that's on the Boru, so yay! We'll be back. This is also on the Boru. It's not tagged properly, but I'm gonna show it anyways. This exists. I don't know. Wait, who did it? Who did this? It's not tagged who uploaded. Oh, Lewis Boss 99 did this. I don't know. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but there it is. Yeah. Stay tuned. More Kirby. We're gonna finish off with Kirby tonight.